Several states are seeing cyber attacks on their water systems. This comes after Minnesota reported 30 of its state water systems faced a coordinated cyber attack last week. Now, since then, local authorities in New Jersey, South Dakota, and Georgia have all said they faced similar attacks. Additionally, North Carolina says its port system was also attacked.
So in today's headlines, hackers have breached the water supplies in 12 states. And this comes after years of warning. What happened? A coordinated cyber attack compromised industrial controllers at water utilities across 12 different states. This happened late July. Officials, some are saying Iran is linked to this attack. The White House is disputing this. But what is not disputed is the FBI has identified the Rockwell Automation, Allen Bradley Micrologics controllers as the targeted devices and the targeted hardware. So what's today's question? It's simple. Does it matter who hacked our water supply versus is it still hackable? We're going to talk about that. So last month, well, a few weeks ago, hackers broke into compromised our water supply potentially. And they didn't do it by going to the dark web and making special deals and getting passwords or credentials or anything like that. They walked through a door that has been open, has been flagged as open, and in many instances in this country remain open. So while Washington's arguing about who did it, I'm telling you we need to worry about, did they fix it yet? Okay. And so what actually happened? Late July, Minnesota authorities reported hackers had hit about 30 different water supply systems in their state. Similar instances over the next 2 weeks start popping up in other states. We cannot confirm for sure that the Minnesota attack spread to other states. We do believe, though, it is the same group and it was a coordinated attack by the same group. So how did they hack us? Well, they compromised that Rockwell device I mentioned earlier. It's what we call a PLC, a programmable logic controller. And I'm going to give you, I always try to give you some tech behind the headline. I'm going to explain what that is in just a sec. But by compromising this device, the water plant's pumps, the pressure, the valves became under the control of the hackers. They changed passwords, they changed network settings, they locked operators out, they caused some flooding. The good news is we have no reported cases of contamination, but still some water plants and cities issued boil water notices. But what is undisputed is that for a significant period of time, operators lost control over the devices that control our water supply. And this is a problem. And also what I will always try to do, a lot of these hacks, they seem so nebulous and mysterious and only a hacker that is, the most experienced hacker in the world could pull it off. What I will show you is a lot of these hacks are preventable, expose what really happened. So what's a PLC? A PLC, think of it kind of like a thermostat in your living room, but it's the thermostat for the water plant, right? And this thermostat, it's an industrial computer, and it manages things like how the pressure in the pipes is feeding water to your communities. It monitors a lot of different things, right? And so this thermostat, this small industrial computer, was compromised. And specifically these Rockwell Automation, Allen Bradley Micrologics controllers were compromised. How did that happen? These controllers were directly accessible, directly exposed to the open internet. What does that mean? In layman's terms, if I'm in my living room in California and I wanted to hack the PLCs in Minnesota, I could reach them over the internet, just like I would go to VPN.com. And this is very poor security. Also, there was a bypass that we've known about since 2021. It's believed that these hackers exploited this bypass. Since 2021, we have known there was a critical flaw and it has not been patched. So not only were these devices that control our water supply completely exposed on the internet, they also were exposed knowing that there's a critical flaw that we have identified since 2021. And so the thing I want you to think about, while politicians and governments and people are arguing about who's to blame, what they need to do is have some accountability about why this isn't fixed. Because until these types of exposures that are obvious that we know about are fixed, and there are many different types of exposures that we know about that are obvious that haven't been fixed, we're at risk. Critical parts of our lives are at risk and could be impacted. And the bottom line is there's a principle here in cybersecurity where the least amount of exposure you have, the least risk you have, right? And so at Yours AI, what we try to do is look at your digital life and reduce the exposures you have so you have less risk. Because right now, everyone's a little uneasy about where they may be at risk online. We try to help you with that by limiting your exposures. If you've enjoyed the episode, hit a like and subscribe. I'm Frank Satterwhite. Until next time, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.